Welcome to Seasonal Stays and Campfire Days. I'm your host, Josh.
And I'm Jen, where we talk about seasonal RV camping and RV gear. So, I just noticed everything is black.
That's not my fault.
Our tablecloth is black. Our cooking gadgets are black. Our mics are black. Yeah, I mean, your clothes are like always majority black. And yeah, I have a black shirt on today, but I have my taco lado that I wore for the Cinco de Taco at our campground. But yeah, we're going goth, well, apparently.
This is my uniform anyways.
That is.
Black, and then I'm black.
Black everything.
Black shoes.
Yeah. Black
socks. Black hat.
And a long jacket.
Well, I mean, you really can't, complain, though. I mean, pretty much everything cooking-wise kind of comes in black anyways, doesn't it?
Yeah. We'll get a different tablecloth, though, so, whenever you come across, a bunch of black items or whatever we're talking about, there's some contrast to it. Or something festive. I mean, we are in December already, so...
I think this is pretty festive.
Sure. Totally, yeah. It, corresponds with Christmas big time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, either way, even though everything's black here.
Yes.
These are our 5 favorite ways to cook food at the camper.
Yes. Absolutely is.
Even though there's more than 5 things on this table.
Some of them, they go into the same category together.
Well, that's the thing.
Yes.
Is that some of them go into the same category, but it's our 5 favorite ways to cook things at the campground. Mm-hmm. Which goes into our first thing, which is your favorite thing.
It is.
Right in the morning.
Yes. It's time for the percolator.
Yes, it is.
I like this, because we had a single brew. It wasn't a Keurig. We had some off-brand.
Right, but it was like the Keurig.
Essentially like the Keurig, and that was great and everything. But then when we were in a bad storm and there was a tornado that touched down not too far from the campground, the power was out for
2 days.
Well, for our weekend there, I don't know if it was out any extra days after we left.
It was 2 days because pretty much as soon as we left the campground, it turned back on.
Yeah. So that's the reason you had the idea of getting a percolator. Mm-hmm. So then that's the way we could make coffee or tea or hot chocolate on the stove or on a fire.
Well, the reason why I even thought about the percolator was because of my experience of camping.
Yes.
With Boy Scouts.
Right.
Because a lot of the leaders would go and make coffee in the percolator because we had propane stoves.
Right.
Right? So they would go and make coffee in the percolator right in the morning.
Yes.
Right on the stoves before any of us scouts went and woke up.
Yeah.
But the good things about the percolator, I mean, the best thing about it is that there's no electricity that's required.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
With it. So, if you're boondocking, or you're mooch docking, or your campground goes and experiences a power outage, as long as you have propane.
Yeah. Or fire.
Well, the propane, because your stove in your camper does not require electricity.
Right. That is absolutely true.
So, if you got propane, you can make coffee in the morning. And then, if you don't have propane, we'll start a fire at your campground.
Right.
Right? Or you can just put it on a grill.
Yeah. I think that would take longer, though. Don't you think? Instead of putting it on the stove or over a little fire.
I don't know. It depends.
Or something.
Depends on how hot you want your grill.
Yeah.
Either way, though.
But I like it. It still makes a good cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
I mean, it still makes a really good cup of coffee.
And you know what the best thing is? It's so easy to use.
It is.
Because
it's easy to use. It's easy to clean as well.
So when you're looking at this thing, I mean, like, a lot of people are kind of like turned off from the percolator because it's kind of different.
Right.
You know, this is, I mean, like, I'm going to pull this out.
Yeah.
Even though, so this...
It's clean, but it's very stained. It gets used every single day.
So we have 2 percolators.
Yes.
We have one at the campground. In our camper that's winterized right now. Mm-hmm. It's blue.
Which we should have taken that one.
That's
we didn't know we were going to be doing this then.
Well, this is
the blue would have had a good contrast against the black.
Yeah, so that's our blue one. That's the one that we got after we had the power outage.
Yes.
And we got rid of our single brew coffee maker from. But a percolator is very simple. And right now, this looks like, oh, you guys don't clean that. No, we do.
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
We do. It's just, it gets stained very easily.
But the one that's at the campground is still sitting at the campground. And she liked it so much at the campground that we got rid of our Keurig here at the house.
Yes.
And we bought another percolator that we both use now.
Yes.
Pretty much every morning.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to use. We got, God, I hope there's no coffee grounds or anything in it.
No.
Oh, there isn't?
It was cleaned out.
Oh. So sometimes in the mornings I'll go and I'll like dump it out and there's like, oh man, there's some coffee grounds or something in it. But these things are so simple to use. You fill this up with just regular water, bottled water, or filtered water, or whatever. And then I think this is called the stem of it. You just put that in, and this cup right here. So the watchtower.
It's a watchtower.
Oh, okay. I guess you fill up the watchtower.
Well, here, then put it together. You'll see why it's a watchtower. Put it on.
Okay, well, you fill this up with the coffee grounds. Now, technically, you don't need a coffee filter with this.
Yeah.
Technically, you don't. Now, we do have coffee filters.
I mean, it depends on the brand. There's some brands I notice that are very, very fine if they're ground already.
Yeah, some of them do come through.
That will get into, like, the bottom of your coffee, but that's, like, the bottom last cup of coffee.
But, I mean, the camera's not going to pick up actually how small these holes are in here.
Oh, right.
But there are very small holes at the very bottom of this watchtower. And you just fill it up like, what do you say? Maybe like 3 spoonfuls? What do you usually do?
No, it depends on it. I've learned. See, now that's the thing. The percolator's a learning curve.
I know,
and that's why there's people that don't like it, because they'll be like, "Oh, the coffee is too weak," or "Oh, it's too strong." Like, there's a learning curve, and it absolutely depends on. Like, I've noticed certain brands I have to use more with or less with.
Okay, but like
for our favorite one,
our average one that we use,
the usual tablespoon. I think I do 5 scoops just from the tablespoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do 5 scoops in there, and we put a coffee filter
and they're
in here
heaping,
too, right?
Mind you, they're heaping 5 tablespoons. So.
Do you put the coffee filter in, or do you just go straight into the here?
I just put it straight into there. I'm not crazy about those other coffee filters that we have.
Okay. So you just put the coffee, or you just put the coffee beans in here.
Yeah.
And then you just
coffee grounds.
Or you.
See, watchtower.
Yes. So you just put that in, put that like that, and then you got your lid.
Yeah.
Which this has bigger holes in it.
Yeah.
So this lid allows the water to come through, and it's essentially like a drip coffee machine. Because what happens is the water, because you put that right there, the water comes up through this tube, and then at the top there's this little glass knob here, right? And it just kind
You
of...
can see when it starts percolating. At that point, like, you know, you have to wait 5 minutes for it to be done.
Which is like the best sound ever. Isn't it?
Yeah. I know you have fun with it.
I always have fun with this.
It just sounds like it's bubble.
Right. So that comes up, and you can see it
Yes.
in here. So this is sitting all in here, and when the water comes up and it hits that, it cascades all the way down through the top here and just drips on through.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of cycles through the water and everything.
Makes the coffee.
Makes the coffee. And how many cups of coffee do you think there are in here? Probably like 5.
Now this isn't like a really big one.
Now this is the same size that we have at the camper.
I would say it depends, because like when you fill up your coffee mug before work, it makes all the coffee go.
I know, but I would say this.
So maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah, so maybe
it depends on the size. It's not. Again, we don't use standard mugs even. Like, we use much bigger mugs for our coffee.
Right. So this is probably about a 4.
Yeah.
4 cup, 5 cup.
Right.
So
yeah.
The only thing that we can come up with this that's a bad thing is it just takes a little bit longer.
It does. I want to say like maybe 10, 15 minutes overall, because you have the point of where you have to wait for it to get hot enough. It starts boiling and percolating. But then once it starts doing that, you just have to wait 5 minutes.
Right. Right. So the
done.
actual brew time is not bad, but
Yeah.
you just have to wait for it to pretty much boil.
Right. Yes.
So in this video, we are going to do our RV cooking gadget rating
Yes.
for everything that we're going through. So our RV cooking gadget rating for the percolator, from 1 to 5, what would you call this?
4 out of 5.
Okay.
Only because of the time. You know, it kind of lacks everybody's gotten so used to the quick.
The very instant,
You
pretty
know.
much like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
The
definitely takes a
Keurigs
little bit
or the
longer,
single, you know, the Keurigs are the single cup brews.
but it makes a really good cup of coffee.
Yeah, it really does.
So 4 out of 5.
Yes. Yeah, but it's fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on to our next one.
Next one. So our next cooking gadget is the crock pot.
Oh yes.
I like this. It's a very versatile cooking gadget. It's not only for like soups and stews, but dips, pizza bake, pasta bake, chili, breakfast and dinner casseroles, chuck roast, whole chickens, pork shoulders, pork tenderloin. I mean, the list goes on and on for these.
There's a whole bunch, especially because you can pretty much like set it and forget it.
Yes.
You know.
That's what I like about it the most.
I mean, you go and you make breakfast, use your percolator.
Yes.
Go make your coffee. You know, and then you got that jolt of energy.
Yes.
And now
And I do.
you can go make dinner.
Yes. It's great. Like I say, like you said, I really like that it's a set it and forget it thing, and it's another gadget that's very versatile.
Now, the thing is with these crock pots, which you kind of touched on,
Yes.
is that it still requires 120 volts.
Yeah.
So, if you're not plugged in, your camper's not plugged into a regular outlet, or
Right.
you're not on a 30 amp or 50 amp or full hookup site, you just or any electrical, can't really use this unless if you got a generator or you have an inverter system.
Right.
Or your mooch docking,
Yeah.
which we've mooch docked before too, with just being plugged into a regular 15 amp outlet.
Right.
But really not the best thing if you're boondocking unless you have some 120 volt power. And the thing is that the crock pots also, they do take a lot of power. You'll be surprised when they're actually heating up, they can get about 800 watts.
Okay.
So for a generator, no problem.
Yeah.
But an inverter system, like if you have like a solar system, it might cause some problems, depending on your system.
Yeah, but it's again, it's good for seasonals or people that are they're staying somewhere for a weekend at a campsite.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Obviously, you can't boondock unless, like you said, they have generator,
they just have to hook
inverter,
up for it.
whatever.
But
yeah,
still, a really
there's
good...
that hindrance. The con is it needs 120 volts. No boondocking unless you have an inverter or generator.
Right. So our RV cooking gadget rating. What would you say it is?
I'd say 4 out of 5, just because it having to be plugged in takes that away from the people that are just boondocking somewhere.
Right.
Other than that, it's fantastic. The convenience of it and the versatility of it is great.
Right.
So yeah, then we can move on to our next product.
That's right. Our next thing.
Yes. Next. Okay, we're gonna go to the next one.
So Jen, we're on to your favorite contraption.
Yes.
And the one that we use pretty much every time that we're up there.
The Pizzazz Plus. It's fantastic.
Yes.
I like it because it's not just for pizza. I mean, we've made fries, chicken nuggets, chicken wings, chicken tenders.
And even when I was on the road, over the road as a truck driver and as an entertainer driver, I brought this with. The bands loved this thing too.
Yeah.
With the amount of stuff that you can make on it.
Right. And the chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, you can never forget the chocolate chip cookies. Yes.
Grilled cheese, popcorn shrimp, like so much. Oh, and we also have put what are those fish things?
Fish sticks?
Yeah, our fish sticks or the fish fillets, the breaded fish fillets, like
pretty much anything that you put in an oven, you can put on this thing.
Yeah.
Minus like a lasagna.
Yeah.
And trust me, I know this because I tried to put a raviolis on it, but that's mostly because that's my mom's fault.
Yeah, that's Bonnie's idea.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Now, the stupid thing was that I tried it already, and then I acted like, oh no, I have no idea what's gonna happen, and so I did it again.
Yeah. Oh, and garlic bread too. This is good for garlic bread.
Yeah, there's been a lot of garlic bread that's been made on here.
Fantastic garlic bread.
So essentially, this thing is meant for pizzas.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's like an open pizza thing.
Right.
And it cooks it very well.
Yeah.
Usually a frozen pizza takes about, 16 minutes or so? The one that will cover this whole
it
thing? Like a
depends.
standard size.
Yeah, like our regular thin crust we get are about 16 minutes.
Right, but there's so much more stuff. I mean, there's on the back of these things, there's recipes that you can follow. Have you never noticed that?
Oh my gosh, I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's for pizza.
Well,
literally, so it says it's just different types of pizza.
But if you go and you buy this thing, in the manual, it has a whole bunch of stuff, like the cinnamon rolls that I would make in the mornings. I would make all the other truck drivers
Okay, that's
very
really
jealous.
good. Yeah, this makes those cinnamon rolls very well, too.
Yeah, that was like my number one thing when I was on my reset for the, when I was driving the semi-truck.
Yeah.
That's the Gidgee.
Oh, yeah, she's here.
Yeah, she's here. She's made her appearance.
Yeah.
But I would make that first thing in the morning when I was doing my reset, which was my break, essentially, my day off.
Right.
I would make so many truck drivers jealous because of the smells that would come out.
Yeah.
And they were all good smells. They were not
Yeah.
just the bad smells.
But anyway, it's a very versatile cooking gadget. There's so much you could do with this, and it's not just for pizza. I think we make a lot of other things on here just as much as pizza. This thing is used a couple times a week.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, so this is for the house.
Yeah.
And then we also have one specifically for the camper. We use this that much. And here at the house, we'll maybe use it, 2-3 times a week. And then at the camper, it's every time that we're there.
Yeah.
Every weekend that we go up there, we're always using it for that.
It's a great gadget to have. It makes it easy cooking in the camper.
Yeah, and the other good thing about this, it's super easy to clean too.
Yeah.
Because this comes off, and then it's easy to either wash it outside if you need it to wash it outside if you got a small sink. But
it is easy to clean. Like with the crock pot, the thing with camper sinks is they're not so deep. They're more shallow.
Right.
Crock pot is big and bulky. Yes, you can clean it. It will make quite a mess though when you are trying to wash it in your camper sink. But yes, this is big, but it's a very thin. The tray itself is very thin, so you're not going to make as much of a mess. I feel like. I think it's easier. It's not bulky.
Right. And the big thing with this is that we basically use this instead of using our oven.
Yes.
In the camper, it's just perfect for it. Especially if you got the counter space just to go and throw something on real quick, and then it's very small when you take it apart.
Yeah.
So, but the only drawback to this, realistically, is it requires 120.
Yeah.
120 volt. You have to be plugged into either shore power, or you got to be running a generator, or you have to have a decent solar or inverter setup on it. So no boondocking with this, which hopefully you got an oven at that point that you can make food that way. But other than that, this is such a great idea.
Right.
For
it's fantastic.
Camper. It's a very tried and true method.
Yeah.
That we love to absolutely use. So.
Yeah. I would say that's really the only downside of it. You need electricity for it.
Right. So on our RV cooking gear rating, our scale of 1 to 5, what would you rate this?
A 5 out of 5.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's an easy 5 out of 5 with this.
Because the versatility is so vast. You could just there's so much you can put on here.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Whether it's already frozen stuff or homemade stuff. Your homemade garlic bread or homemade pizza. We've put a homemade pizza on here before too, so it's not necessarily just for
it's essentially
things that are already frozen.
Yeah, it's just a compact oven.
Yeah. It's fantastic and it does a great job.
Right, and it smells really nice too. As long as you know what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah.
So you ready for the next thing?
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and move on
to
the next thing.
All right, next we have our fire making gadgets.
I like to call them things.
Your fire making things. Yes.
Yes. Now
this essentially is a grilled cheese or sandwich maker right here. You put over the fire or a grill. I think it's mostly fire, honestly. I mean, unless you have a good fire going on your charcoal grill. And same with this. This is for vegetables or even burgers. We made burgers in here.
We have. Yep.
We made burgers over the fire.
Yep.
In that one.
Yeah, at our campsite we have a charcoal grill, propane grill, and then we just have a fire pit.
Yeah.
And eventually I would like to get a grill grate to go and put over the fire pit.
Right.
But for the time being, this is what I use.
Yeah.
Over there. Now, these two are really good ideas, especially if you like to cook outside and you like to use the fire pit.
Right.
Because they're easy. Like with this one, it's a sandwich maker, essentially.
And this one that came with
the grilled cheese book.
All the different recipes of sandwiches and paninis and stuff.
Yes, that's what this is for. We really haven't used this one.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think that we've ever used this one before.
We have not yet. We use that.
We have ideas for that so far.
Actually, I'm wondering with this, do you think this is something that s'mores could go into? Like just have One,
Like
two,
the crackers
three,
and
four.
everything?
Probably fit about like 8 full s'more sandwiches in here.
I don't know.
Or do you think that's too wide? No, I think that would. You kind of get them in place and cook together very well, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to. I guess we'll have to try it and see what happens. We'll just have to try it.
Never mind. That went over my head. The marshmallows have to be cooked by themselves, so
That's
never
what
mind.
I was thinking. It's like, okay. But yeah, I mean, this stuff, it's really good for if you want something quick.
Yes.
Especially if you have a fire going already.
Yeah.
They're easy to set up, very easy to use.
Yeah.
And like I said before, you can use it with the fire, or you can even use a grill for it. And I tell you what,
Yeah,
for
like this is just as like more of a sandwich maker, but this is great
This
for
is very-
vegetables too.
Yeah.
I mean, like asparagus, Brussels sprouts, peppers, onions, whatever you could put in here. And this height is adjustable too.
Yeah.
That's on here. You have about 4 more tiers. 3 more.
Right, so you can
So.
put a decent amount of stuff in
Yeah.
there. So, some of the cons, I guess, with these would be it's not the easiest to clean.
No.
Especially the ones that have
They're
like the
not.
wire.
Yeah.
Like this. It's just not the easiest to clean, especially kind of in a camper because you do
Right.
make a mess.
Well, no, they're not. And then especially when you're cooking over a fire, it's just like everything just gets
It gets stuck.
really, it gets charred to this. And that's a pain. You have to scrub it. And you got to try to scrub through,
Right.
all the grate and everything too.
But-
Obviously, this is the other kind. It's a fire only thing, though. I wouldn't say that's a con, honestly. But these are basically for over a fire, over a grill.
I don't think that it's just a fire thing. It's just more for outdoor ease of use.
Yeah.
But these do require a very clean fire.
Yeah.
Or a clean burning
Well,
fire. You don't want
You
a whole
should
bunch
have
of
a
smoke.
clean burning fire. You don't want to ruin your food.
Right.
So, yeah.
We know that from experience.
Yes.
For multiple things, though. I mean, I like to smoke meats and everything, so having a
Right.
real smoky fire with that also
Yeah.
ruins it too.
So, yeah, it's not the easiest to clean.
And then specifically with these, and there are different. There's like different types of these and different brands and everything, but these ones I feel like the handles are just a little bit too close.
Yeah.
So like the fire, you're cooking this like over the fire, your hand is literally right there.
Right.
So
Well, and also with this like metal going through here too, this all just gets hot.
right, yeah.
Even here, the metal on the side is like you're holding it.
That one's probably worse. I never
Yeah.
use this one. I've used this one and I had to put like a towel in front of my
Right.
hands in order to do anything with. But
Yeah.
But so we're not gonna go super into detail with these because we don't use them very often.
I mean, they're
but-
very straightforward.
But they're a good thing to have,
Yes.
just in case, because
Absolutely
you
are.
never know what you can get yourself
Right.
into with it. So,
Yeah.
on our RV cooking gear rating,
Yeah.
we have decided to give this a
3 out of 5.
just because we don't really use them terribly often, but they are a really good idea to have with, especially if you like cooking over a fire or using like a charcoal grill or
Right.
something like that. These are great for it. So I'm excited about this next one.
Yeah. That's definitely your domain.
Yes, and we use these all the time.
Yes.
You ready for it?
Yep. Let's get to it.
Okay. Cast irons.
Yes. Your favorite.
Yes.
Almost everyone's favorite.
Yeah. I could agree with that, I guess.
Yeah. You make some very delicious foods on here, I tell you what.
And there's so much that you can do
Yeah.
with cast irons, and you can use them pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
They have a high heat tolerance, and they just hold on for so long, especially the Dutch oven.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Now we made this chili from this guy on YouTube called Arnie Tex.
His Texas chili.
His Texas chili was amazing.
And I insisted on it because I don't like beans, and he makes a no bean option, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it turned out fantastic
Yeah.
in this thing. But pretty much anything else. I mean, like we use the skillet here. Actually, I use everything here.
Yeah.
At the house.
This one is used the most for breakfast.
Yes.
For eggs or bacon, and sausage.
Actually,
this one's used the most. I love this thing.
Actually,
it
you
cooks
know what?
Fantastic.
This I mostly use for like grilled cheeses and that kind of stuff, making tuna melts and everything with. This is the one I use with the bacon and the eggs.
Right.
The big one.
Okay. Yeah.
Because otherwise, then the bacon grease kind of.
I don't know. You have them all on the stove at the same time. So.
I know. I'm always using these like all the time.
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff that you can do with it. Like we made pizzas in here.
Mm-hmm.
Homemade pizzas. And I think both of them. I've done like small cobblers in there.
Yeah, we've used a cobbler, and we've made cobblers in the 8 and the 12-inch, which came out fantastic.
Yes, and then we've made a cobbler in here, and this is just.
We did put a cobbler in there. That's right.
That was the first thing.
A really nice big cobbler. Yeah.
It was like a peach and apple cobbler, I think it was, or no, it was cherry and.
It was cherry and apple, I believe.
Cherry and peach.
Was it peach and cherries? Well, it was one of those two.
I just remember this thing almost falling on my head because the ground went.
The ground went out from under him, but that's a story for another time. I say that's when we have our friends.
Yes. Yeah.
When the campground's open, we'll have our campground stories.
Yeah. So, with the cast iron stuff, it is such a great thing to have if you can have the space in your camper for it, because one of the problems with these is it takes up a lot of space.
It does.
Even if you're stacking them and everything, it still can take up a lot of space, and it adds weight. These are not light,
especially to for the cabinets themselves. I mean, not all campers have the sturdiest shelving.
Well, I'm just thinking in general, because some campers, or actually every camper, you need to be weight conscious.
Yeah.
Especially like our situation, we're right at that threshold where it's almost unsafe for us to even be pulling our camper.
Yeah.
But the way I have it spec'd out and what we have inside, we've weighed it before and we've made sure. Anyways, but these do add some weight.
Yeah.
So.
But with this, I wanted to say with this, we actually made that Texas chili from Arnie Tex over our fire. We put it on a tripod.
Yes, and
we cooked it over our fire pit.
Yeah, the only thing that's missing from this right here is
our
tripod.
Yeah, but it was phenomenal. Best chili hands down.
Yes,
ever.
Absolutely. So these things are very versatile. You can pretty much make anything in these. I've even heard of people making bread in the Dutch oven.
I have that bread Dutch oven recipe I would like to use.
Yeah, they're super easy to use.
Yeah.
They're very forgiving for the most part. If you use them a lot, once they're seasoned, they're
right. And this goes back to with this, like I love this the most because this is something else that's very like the crock pot pizza bakes. Not only stews or soups in here, I mean, it's, bakes too, and casseroles, and desserts. Apple cider donuts, actually, we have that recipe I still want us to make in here. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's another one that's there's a vast range of food.
Absolutely.
You can cook in the Dutch oven.
And the thing is that you can use these inside, you can use them outside.
Yeah.
Over the fire. Actually, any of these can go over the fire. We've put pretty much all these on the grill.
They all went over the charcoal grill just about.
This one actually went over the propane grill. This
and
one
what
here.
Was that for?
That was for that chili. Before, that was so I can make... I put the ground beef in here first, and I used the propane grill for it.
Oh, right.
And made the ground beef in here, and then we put it on over the fire. But... you can bring it inside and use it on a stove too. Yeah. Or even just throw it in your oven. These things are extremely forgiving with heat. But with such great things with these, there are a couple cons with it. If they're not seasoned properly,
right,
or you keep them in a wet place or something, they can rust.
Yeah.
These things,
and that's the thing, cast iron,
Now
you
these
have to know how to take care of them too.
And exactly, and there are a couple different types of cast iron. Like these are more like a raw cast iron. There's some that has like an enamel coating on it, which that makes it super easy to clean up. But with these are a little bit more, a little tougher to clean because these are all a non-stick.
Yeah.
You have to season it. You got to put like butter, or like when I'm making breakfast, cook your bacon first. Use the bacon grease as your,
Yeah, that's
like
not my favorite thing he does, but you get the point of what he's saying.
Well, I don't put like a bunch of it on. Just enough so that the eggs and stuff don't really stick too much. But like if they're not seasoned properly, they can rust. And they can just start getting sticky and just kind of gross. And there is one thing, I'm going to say it. There's one controversy in this whole thing about cleaning these. And so many people say,
no, don't do it.
Don't use soap. Well, I'm going to prove you wrong with this. At some point, I'll prove you wrong. But if you have a properly seasoned any cast iron, you can use soap. Don't go and buy one.
But it's a very quick clean too. Like it's
well, the thing is that like the best ways to clean this without using soap, for the people that don't want to use soap, you use like salt, and then we have this like chainmail thing to scrub it out and everything, and then you put oil over it. Clean it. Put it back on the fire, dry it out.
We have that whole cast iron scrub, that whole set for cleaning them.
Right, but you go and use the scrub on it, and then you have to make sure it's completely dry.
And I do like that scrub. I really like that, which I think is a rock salt.
It's probably
essentially.
Yeah, essentially, and then
that helps with the stuff that absolutely won't come off of it.
Yes.
I really like that scrub, and you use that with the chainmail and everything.
Yeah, but then
it works great.
As long as it's seasoned, as long as it's oiled.
Yeah.
These things will last for over 100 years.
Yeah.
And guarantee it. And that's pretty much any brand. Like a majority of ours is Lodge.
Yeah.
But
they all are. This one I got for free for points. Oh, it's a Lodge.
Yeah. They're all Lodges.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one is. Our neighbor gave that to us, but
yeah, this came
that
from.
One doesn't.
I have no idea.
That one does not have anything on it, but yeah, the cast iron stuff would highly recommend getting it if you have the room and you can afford the weight on it.
Yeah.
For sure. So with that, our RV camping gear rating for these, it's a 6 out of 5.
He just had to add an extra point because he's obsessed with cast iron.
Yes, they are just amazing.
Yes.
We use them all the time here at the house and all the time at the camper. We can't get enough of using the cast iron stuff.
So yeah, and again, there's so many of these things it's stuff that a lot of you already have in your household that you can use for making food at the camper. So without breaking the bank, essentially, like they don't have to go out and get all these expensive gadgets that are geared towards camper cooking gadgets. It's stuff that we already, most people already have.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's fantastic.
So out of everything that we have here, what's your favorite? At the campground, what do you think is your favorite?
I would say the pizzazz.
The pizzazz?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
It's very versatile. I mean, you can make so much on there. I mean, I really do like the crock pot too.
Yeah, I can agree.
Because this is as well. So it's kind of hard to choose between the two of them, but with this, I think of this like we could actually like use it as an oven too.
Well, that's kind of
for certain things.
That's kind of how I used it too with the.
And I'm not talking about put a whole lasagna or anything on there. I'm talking about like.
No, but.
Like I said earlier, chocolate chip cookies. You could put cookies on there even.
Right. Well, like the pizzazz, I found that out years ago. Even like when I was in the semi truck.
Right.
And I used to make the cinnamon rolls and Used to make like chicken tenders on it, and
Right.
you know, my mom at one point told me that I should try and make a ravioli
Oh, yeah.
on it.
Oh, Bonnie, she's fantastic.
Just ask me how good that came out. Very dry. It was very dry. I almost couldn't get it off this thing.
It's been used very much and like constantly. Like it's been used every day that we are actually at our camper.
And
It's
you know-
used at least once a day.
You know what's
And then obviously these are things we brought back with us, but it's still continuously being used here as well.
well, you know what's crazy is this is the first one that we've had.
Right.
This is the one that I had in the semi truck with me.
Yeah. And then the other one I bought from this very awesome lady at work. They only sold it to me for like $40. It was used one time. It's fantastic. I love having these.
And it's still at the camper.
Yeah.
So we have one at home and we have one at the camper.
So this isn't the one from the camper?
This is not the one from the camper.
Oh.
This is actually our first one. And our second one is still sitting at the camper in
Oh,
storage.
Okay. All right
But
then.
We use it that much. We
Yeah.
like it that much.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, the downfall with that is it has to be plugged in. You know, it has
That's
to be at
pretty much it.
120 volts. So if you're,
You just have to be plugged in,
yeah,
pretty much. Or run a generator.
right.
Or have an inverter.
Yeah,
That's it.
that is true.
But either way, if you guys have made it to the end of the video, we thank you for watching us. And go ahead and
Yes.
subscribe, because subscribing to us helps our channel out tremendously. And go ahead and comment down what you guys think about our pick for our favorite 5 cooking gadgets, and also let us know what you guys like to use when you're out either on the road or at a campground or whatever it is, just to go and cook in your camper.
Yeah.
And
I
also
would
give
love
us a
to
like.
see that. I would love to see that. I would like to see all the different ideas.
Yeah, that'd be great. We also like ideas too, so anything that makes
Absolutely.
anything just that much easier or that much better, that'd be great.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.